Okay, so my first tip is be careful what costume you are using at the current time and where. The reason is because of this. Any uniform that falls under the faction category will make you hostile to players that are using the opposite outfit in. And this is being abused by some players because you get the bamboo faction uniform at around level 12-ish, I think. And by the time you get the Black Ram uniform, you're around 18. So some people are using this opportunity to head over to the lower level area and pick on the newer players that don't know that putting on the Bamboo Guard uniform, which is like the third outfit you get in the game and it looks relatively decent, makes you hostile to them and allows them to kill you in PvP and get points towards their PvP score, which is something completely different. So be careful with that. This also applies to the Cerulean Order and Crimson Legion, these that you get at level 4, as well as Stratus Empire versus Tyrian Cultists and all the rest of these. So yeah, that's it. Be careful. And yeah, hopefully this is going to save you a whole lot of hassle like it did one of my friends. My second tip is don't open every single lockbox you get as a chest, as a reward, or anywhere else. As you can see here, I've got plenty of lockboxes that I still haven't opened, but the problem is keys start getting a little scarce near the end of the game, especially when you get lockboxes like this one that require 3 keys to open. As well, that opening multiple lockboxes of something you already have does not benefit you much in any way. You might get some element powder by breaking down the weapon inside this, but other than that, the weapon it's inside will sell for 5 copper at most, and keys are extremely expensive. Now, you can get keys from certain quests, like from here you can get 1 key, or you can come over to the general vendor and buy some keys from him, but they cost 10 silver and 20 copper each. So yeah, keys get scarce and very expensive later in the game. So if you don't need something from a chest you have, don't open it. Just vendor the chest and be happy with what you have, because honestly, keys, you will need them later in the game to try to get weapons that you will need to level up your Hong Moon weapon, and that can take several tries. My third tip for new players is don't be afraid of world bosses. Now behind me is one of the easier world bosses, but most of the ones before level 45 are kind of like him. Allow me to show. So, he looks very tough, he's got 266,000 HP, however, as you can see, most of his attacks are big areas that you can easily avoid or counter even if you're still caught in them. Now, stuff like that you can't avoid, and these will vary from boss to boss, so it will take a little bit of experimenting with each one, but the only one that I have seen that cannot be soloed so far are world bosses currently in the Misty Woods and the Jiangxi that you can see on my map over there on the south side. Those are the only 3, actually technically 5 bosses that can't be soloed. Here I'm being extremely reckless. I'm just going to finish it off here. My fourth tip for you new players out there is keep all of your Hong Moon items leveled up and make sure you never throw them away. These things will carry you all the way through to from what I've heard, all the way through endgame content that we don't even have yet, so way past level 50. or up to level 50. So as you can see, I have another weapon right here that is technically better than my Hongmoon Gauntlet. However, what's important is the abilities in green right below it, the icon of my Hongmoon weapon. 70% focus recovery, and the other one which is a little less important. Now the focus recovery for my class is extremely powerful because it allows me to spam my abilities at a rate that otherwise would be impossible to do with this other weapon. So that is really the main reason why you want to keep your Hongmoon weapon until you get something that is absolutely better. And maybe even then you might want to just store it in your vault because you did invest a lot of stuff into this. Now I do admit that it is not easy to keep your Hongmoon weapon up to max level. And even me myself, I currently have it stuck right here because in order to make Hongmoon transformation stones, let's see, here we go. I need 100 soul stones, and we currently cannot get soul stones anywhere in the game outside of the daily roulette. And aside from that, you also need very specific weapons from very specific instances. I believe for this one I had to get like 3 different weapons from various instances, and it wasn't easy because I had to compete with other people for them. But yeah, your Hongmoon weapon and items, keep them leveled up, keep them with you and keep using them. They will more than likely keep you well armed throughout most of the end game and throughout the rest of the game for as much as I know. My last tip for you new players out there is learn to switch channels. Like, for example, say you're here on this beach and you want to do some faction quests, but there is a lot of PvP going on, which there's some people over there, there's some people over there, and you don't want to actually get involved in PvP, but you need some of the rewards from the faction quests in order to advance your guild or get some piece of equipment you want. So all you gotta do is either go up here above your map and select a different channel, or if you press escape, and you can also select the channel from here. So let's say I don't want to do anything to do with these people right here, so I'm gonna go to channel 3. This is basically instant. Now there are still people here. This is the higher level PvP area, so there's obviously going to be people. But you can use this to either have less people around the mobs you need to kill for certain quests, or if you want to do some faction quests with less people around. Hopefully this one will be extremely useful to you because it's not something you see very often in Western MMOs, but it is very common in Asian MMOs. And that is it for this video. Hopefully you find at least one of these tips useful, and if you find all of them useful, then good on you and good for me because I actually told you something that was useful to you. And if you have any questions or comments, or you need help with something, leave it in the comments below. In the comments below. And if I get enough questions, I'll answer them in another video because making videos is fun. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.